Hello, Chem 165 students. This is Dr. Foley. I'm going to review the syllabus in this video. Should take about 20 to 25 minutes. This is most likely the view you're going to see for all the lecture videos this semester, an overhead shot of my notes on tabletop. I think this gives you the best view instead of videotaping myself in front of a blackboard from kind of far away, which I've tried. And for some things that works, but this generally is easiest to videotape in this format. So most likely most of the presentation I give you of the material will be in this format. But again, this syllabus I'll bring with me I'll bring copies next week when we meet on a discussion on, well actually class starts next Wednesday. So I guess I'll see you the first time next Thursday and I'll bring a copy of this syllabus. But at least you'll have a videotape of this review, and you can, the nice thing about videos is you can stop them, take a break, go back. But make sure you thoroughly read this syllabus. I'm just going to go through it kind of quickly, summarizing some of the important points, but this is all the rules of the course and how we're going to grade and the assignments I hope to give you throughout the semester. So again, my office is in room 1041. I heard in an email that I guess we're not going to have in-person office hours. I'm not sure if that's absolutely true yet, but in case it is and you want to get a hold of me, I think we're going to use email or texting or this Collaborate Ultra part of Canvas, which I haven't used before, but I'm kind of playing around with it this week. So hopefully by the time the course starts, I'll have it figured out. But please be patient if I'm not using that right away. But you can always talk with me during our in-person meetings at discussion on Tuesdays from 5 to 6:30 in room 1336. Our lecture room has been changed. We were supposed to be in room 1338, but we're in room 1336, which is not as nice a room, unfortunately. It's more just like a regular classroom. The original lecture room was more like a theater style, which was very nice, but I'm a little sad that we can't use that room, I guess because another class needs it for spacing. But in any case, we're in room 1336, which I think is right next door on campus at Fox Cities. The labs are going to be I'm going to split you up into two rooms, room 1082 and 1054. We'll do those on Thursday nights from 6:10 to 9:35. You'll most likely be there almost 3 hours every time, so just get used to that. You're not coming to class for lectures, so the amount of time you're actually going to spend on campus is not that long, about 4.5 hours a week. The rest of the time you're going to be watching me present the material on videos, and so it's going to be a new experience for all of us. I've never really taught a full course in online format or hybrid format like this. We did it in the spring for a while just to get by, and it seemed to go okay. It was a little rough. Still haven't gotten everything figured out, but we'll just take it day by day. But you're in this class because most of you, or maybe all of you, are engineering students. You need a little basic review of chemical principles. I think some of you are actually, we're in my Chem 101 class. So you're going to hear a lot of the same stuff again. I'm using a lot of the same notes. Some of the worksheets are similar because the topics are similar. But we do kind of cover the entire year of chemistry in this one semester. So it does move pretty quickly. It'll start off with topics you're probably familiar with, and then it'll quickly move into more advanced topics. So please don't fall behind. The best way to reach me always is by email, foleym@uwosh.edu. Again, these office hours I've listed here, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right before our discussions or labs. Still not sure. Keep them. Assume that you can come to my office until I tell you otherwise if you need to stop by. Again, the lecture videos will be posted online on YouTube, as this video will be. I have a YouTube channel. I don't really have all my videos public. I just give you the links, put them in Canvas, and you can just click on the Canvas links. Let's see. Again, in the discussions, I wrote about an hour and a half. We're going to do worksheets in group settings. I'm thinking 2 to 4 students per group. I'll have to see who's there the first week and try to group you together with students that you can work well together. I might just randomly assign you because I don't know most of you. So we'll figure something out. And then the first week, I think we're just going to meet in person for labs. I'll have the Chapter 1 lecture videos up by next week, so make sure you're reviewing those as well. There's some policies in the syllabus about how we're going to stay safe during the pandemic. Face masks, of course, sanitizing rooms, etc. The textbook is the same one we've used for many years. It's a good textbook. It's called Chemistry, the Central Science, 12th edition. Should be in the bookstore. You can maybe buy it or rent it from Amazon.com. Make sure you have a scientific calculator. No graphing calculators are allowed because you can actually enter notes into those. So make sure you just get a cheap $15 scientific calculator that can do logs and exponents and things like that. You can't use your cell phone for a calculator on quizzes and exams. The assigned reading and homework problems. Homework is not part of your grade, but you still need to do it because it's the only way you really get practice other than the discussion worksheets. So this describes all the parts of the textbook. There's additional exercises. There's all these little sections within the textbook. I've highlighted in bold here. Strategies in Chem, give it some thought. Chemistry put to work, chemistry in life, etc. Yeah, I'll just talk about how chemistry relates to different aspects of our lives. There's sample exercises, there's summary and key terms. It's like any general chem textbook you've seen before. They're all pretty much the same. There's answers to some of the exercises in the appendix from A1 to A32 or A33 to 46. There's some answers to some of the exercises in the book, but not all of them. I will post some of the answers over the semester to some of the problems I've selected for you to do. On Canvas, you'll see that there are a number of exercises that I've chosen that I think are good for you practicing and learning this material. We're going to have 4 quizzes throughout the semester, probably the week before our scheduled exams. The exam dates are tentative at this point. I listed them here in the syllabus. I'll try not to change those dates, but I'll at least give you I'll give you at least a week's notice if I do change any of these dates, so you're not caught off guard. Just stay on schedule with these topics, though. Try to do an hour at least of studying every day. The quizzes are going to be multiple choice or short answer, worth 20 points each. I'm scheduling 4 exams throughout the whole semester. Again, I'll tell you 1 week prior to the exam when it's going to be. It's most likely going to be in weeks 4, 7, 11, and either the second to last week or the last week of the semester. We do have 14-week semesters, but as the calendar goes, it looks like there's actually 15, but the first week is not a full week of class. We start on Wednesday the 9th. Most of the stuff in this syllabus just goes over the rules about missing classes. If you do miss classes, hopefully you don't, but if you have to have excuses for everything, so make sure you thoroughly read this. As I've said, proper documentation verifying any excused absences from exams and quizzes and labs must be supplied to me as soon as possible. If you know you're going to miss something prior to the exam, quiz, or lab, please let me know by email or in person. Makeup exams must be completed within 1 week of the scheduled exam time. I don't want to have to write makeup exams because I'm pretty busy, as you are, but we'll just take it as it comes, and if that happens, it happens. An unexcused absence from a quiz or exam or lab are counted as 0 points. You don't get credit if it's unexcused. Unexcused essentially means you didn't give me a reason or a good enough reason for missing the work, or you just didn't say anything. Laboratory is a big part of the class. You're going to work with a partner. There's many pre-labs to these lab reports I've chosen, so make sure that you hand those in as soon as you walk in the lab. No late pre-labs will be accepted. It's just a little assignment, usually worth about 5 points, that I give you to get you prepared for taking advantage of the 3 hours that you have in lab, 3.5 hours that we have. You most likely will not be in lab the entire 3.5 hours every week, but sometimes you will. Again, you're going to work with a partner. I'll give you, if we do more than 13 labs, I'll throw out the lowest 1 or 2 lab scores and only grade you on your 13 best lab reports. So that's kind of nice. You're supposed to work equally during lab as part of a team. I don't want anybody piggybacking off of their partner and just getting a good grade and not doing anything. If I see that, I'll either switch the groups or not give you credit if you're not doing any work. This section also goes over how to dress, how I expect the lab reports to be turned in on paper, very neat, no page fringes, torn pages, sloppy. Sorry that last video got interrupted by a phone call into my cell phone. I'm using my smartphone to record these, so I was unaware that that would just stop the recording. I'm sorry about that, but I was talking about the, so this is really part 2 of the syllabus review video here. Again, I expect both of you to contribute equally during the lab. Make sure pre-labs are turned in as you walk in the door. About cleaning up, each student's required to help clean up the lab. This includes cleaning your lab bench, your balance area, cleaning and properly storing glassware, returning stock chemicals to the appropriate place, etc., etc. Again, if you don't clean up at the end of your lab, I will take points away from your report because that means I have to do it, and I will not be happy about that. So make sure that you don't rush out of lab without cleaning up your bench. Again, this will all be, I will remind you many times about this, so just get used to my hounding you about all this. Discussions, there's going to be 10 graded discussion worksheets. We might do more than 10, but 10 will be graded. You're going to work with, again, a group setting, 2 to 4 students in discussion. You don't need to print these out. I don't want you to see these ahead of time, so you'll just show up to discussion and sit with your group and work on these, and they'll give you some practice with learning all these different concepts we are discussing. Every student in a group will receive the same grade, therefore it's important that each member of a group contributes equally to the assignment. Absences, that will happen, but if you know of any conflicts that will require you to miss class, just let me know as soon as possible so that we can make arrangements to make up the missed work. If I'm not informed of it prior to the time the class completes it, you may not get credit for the work. So again, any unexcused absences for any work are recorded as a 0. We're using Canvas, of course. All the material, syllabus, lecture videos, links to websites, lab handouts, etc. are there, and it'll be continuously updated every week, almost not daily, but every couple days I'll probably be putting up more videos, more lecture videos, maybe things I find online that will help you. But if you have any issues with accessing Canvas, please let me know. And you're going to keep track of all your grades will be there as well. Grading, here's how I'm going to grade you. There's 4 exams. We're not going to have a final exam. That's something new. I'm happy about that because writing 4 exams in the semester is enough. I think that's enough assessment for you as well. It should cover almost all the topics. We're going to have 4 quizzes worth about 10%. The exams are about half your grade, big part of it. Discussions are about 12% of your grade. And lab reports are about 1/3 of your grade, 13 lab reports. Here is the grading curve we've used for many years at Fox Cities. It's pretty standard. This information here is what I added into the syllabus dealing with how we're going to stay safe in this pandemic. Everybody has to wear a face mask that covers your mouth and nose. You have to maintain appropriate distance. An instructor cannot begin class until all students are wearing a mask. If a student is non-compliant with the policy and refuses to leave the classroom when requested, I have to cancel class. So you'll be referred to the Dean of Students if you're uncooperative with the mask policy, and that will cause issues for everybody. But I'm sure we'll be fine. Everybody's pretty much used to wearing a mask at this point. Disinfecting workspaces. Upon entering the classroom, we expect everybody to wipe down their desk and arms of the chairs. And if the chair is not fabric, you can choose to wipe the seats and backs of the chairs as well. And so hopefully every room has a good supply of those disinfecting wipes. You can't eat or drink in the classroom. It's prohibited. I like to have coffee in the classroom, I guess not this semester or year. This just goes over the diversity and philosophy of the school about being all-inclusive, which is a good thing. Eating or drinking in the classroom, there is an exception for some students who might have a medical condition that requires them to eat at certain times. If you are one of those students, please let me know at the beginning of the class so I am not caught off guard by you eating or drinking during class. When possible, the student should be assigned a seat furthest away. I'll take care of all that. Don't worry about that. There's some study hints that will help you succeed. Again, of course, read the assigned textbook chapter before watching the videos if you can, and then the videos will I'll summarize the textbook with supplemental information and give you some examples just to help you practice learning a lot of these topics and concepts. There's a lot of math in this class. Good news is it's just algebra, unit conversion. It's really not anything too difficult. Take lecture notes. Taking lecture notes from a video, I guess it's a good idea if you want to. Writing and watching a video and writing notes, I think will help make a connection. So it's up to you. I'll leave that up to you. I have no control over that, but I highly recommend that you actually take notes watching these videos, as if we're in a classroom setting. Work on the course every day for at least an hour. Don't fall behind. Try to attempt all the suggested homework problems. Try not to look up the answers until you've truly made a good effort to answer it. I think I've chosen some problems where the answers are not in the back of the textbook, but I will supply the answers to you if you ask. Form a study group with fellow students, quiz each other about course content. That's always a good way to learn material. Academic misconduct. I've really never had any issues with that. Online exams this last semester when we went online, and any online assignments this semester, instructors, we are a little worried about students cheating. We leave it up to you to be honest. If you are caught cheating in any way, there are consequences, so please try not to do that. There's many forms of cheating. Submitting a paper or assignment as one's own work when it really isn't. Tampering with lab equipment or computer program of another student. There's a policy on the website for UW Oshkosh. I think it's in this section here. I don't know how old this information is. I've kind of copied it from year to year. But if you have any questions about that, please just ask me. Academic assessment proficiencies, that's pretty self-explanatory. If there are cancellations, there's a number of radio stations and TV stations that will broadcast that. But I don't think that's really an issue until the end of the semester when the weather gets bad. I don't think I've ever had to cancel a class due to weather, actually. I've gotten kind of lucky. Here is the course outline, the course schedule. Again, it's a lot of chapters. These chapters up here are kind of what you would cover in a first semester chemistry class from 1 to 11. And then 13 through 24 are the second semester of a normal year-long general chemistry course. But we're combining it all in one semester. So I'm hoping to get through all these topics. So there's going to be a lot of videos, if I fall behind with uploading any of the videos, please be patient. I'll try to do every week. Like week 1 will be chapter 1, week 2, chapter 2, week 3, chapter 6, and probably 8, and it'll pick up speed as we go. If you look at the pages I'm covering essentially all of these chapters. Some of the sections of pages of chapter 8 I'm omitting. Chapter 9 I'm only covering the first part of it. I believe we're skipping the part on hybrid orbitals or molecular orbitals. We don't really need you to know that stuff. Chapter 11 is just the first couple sections. It's only 11 pages talking about intermolecular forces. That will help you understand gases a little bit better. And then until the end of the class, when we talk about electrochemistry, batteries, and things like that, I omitted just a little bit of the end of that chapter. And I'm hoping to cover a little bit of organic chemistry at the very end of the class. Here are the tentative exam dates. They're generally about 3 to 4 weeks apart. First one will be in, I believe, week 4, and then about a month later, exam 2. 3 to 4 weeks later, have exam 3, and the last exam will either be the second to last week of class or the very last week of class, and that'll be kind of our quote-unquote final exam. But exam 4 will just cover the last few topics of the class. And then the last page of the syllabus summarizes the what I hope to accomplish in lab, the scheduled weeks of doing those labs. I have a makeup week, and I don't have it in this one, but there's a lot of labs here. We're going to do a lab the first day next week, so it's pretty straightforward. Calculating the density of an egg, just to give you some practice with making basic scientific measurements. I have a related textbook chapter that covers the topics that or the techniques that you're using in lab are related to topics we talk about in the textbook. Density of an egg, water hardness, atomic emission. That's 2 different labs. So in the second week of class, we're doing 2 different labs. Atomic emission's pretty short. I tried to combine 2 shorter labs into one 3.5-hour session. This Lewis structure handout in this week of class is you could take home and work on. You don't have to stay the whole time and work on that. I might just have us do this lab first, and then you can start to work on that and then take that home. And then the rest of the weeks, I don't think there is more than 1 lab until we get to near the end. Electroplating zinc and copper, and then the gold penny lab, which is a fun little exercise. It's not, I call it a lab, but it's more just about a half-hour exercise, but it's students tend to love that experiment. So again, you're going to be busy in lab, but it is a big part of the class, so it's supposed to be the part where you actually get hands-on experience applying these scientific principles. So I'm not sure if I think we're supplying goggles for you. I don't know how we're going to disinfect them properly. We might have an ultraviolet light cabinet at the front of the lab that will have you put your goggles in. You'll put your initials on the goggles when we check in next week. So next week when we meet, we'll check into your lab drawers, get you familiar with the equipment, get a lab partner, get a space where you'll have to sit for the entire semester, go over safety and the density of an egg. I believe I've put on Canvas a lab that goes over lab safety. So make sure before we meet for lab that you read that lab. I'll quickly review it during the actual meeting. And there's a form that you have to turn in where you are agreeing to all the rules of the lab experience. So good luck with everything. I will be uploading Chapter 1 lecture videos in the coming week or so. Just keep an eye out for those. I'll send emails to remind you. I'll put announcements on the Canvas webpage as well. So looking forward to seeing you next week, and see you soon. Bye-bye.